Greetings, demons, and welcome to Collector Corps. So, recently I made a little bit of an order from CAC, Clone Army Customs, and if you don't know who they are a pretty legendary custom maker in the world of LEGO minifigures, especially when it comes to, as you'd expect, clones, and honestly, I was never too interested in them. I ended up picking up these two clones you see before you, both in pink, mostly so I could complete my Everyone is Awesome display with some pink clone trooper, which I will have it linked on in the description below to the Reddit post with that image of it all complete. But I thought it was worth just quickly discussing my thoughts on Clone Army Customs, so let's just get into it. So, first things first, just getting my sig fig out of the way. I don't love these figures. These are, honestly, some of the worst clones that I have in my current collection, and it's not by a close margin, and that is really unfortunate, because, you know, Clone Army Customs figures in general are not necessarily cheap. They are definitely, you know, similarly priced to competitors, and I will get into one that I actually do think does it a lot better. But at the end of the day, these are just not, in my personal opinion, great figures. So both of these are based on the CAC old version of the 501st design. These are the cheapest basic clones you can get, and obviously I've got them customized slightly here. So I did get these through the Build a Fig Pink option, which is on the Clone Army Customs website, and with that you get a choice of helmet style, any helmet attachments, weapons, and backpack, and I obviously went with a standard 501st Clone Trooper in pink, as well as a Commando, a Clone Commando in pink. And honestly, the actual experience of, you know, buying from Clone Army Customs and actually getting the figures and choosing the parts I wanted is excellent. I don't have an issue with their website. It is a little bit dated. It feels like going all the way back into, you know, the mid-2000s in terms of online shopping and stuff like that. But it is a smooth experience. It's very clear that it's worked for so long for a reason. And yeah, in general, I was looking forward to these. I was really hopeful that I would enjoy these figures. Let's just start with the Clone Commando, because this is something that we don't currently have from LEGO themselves. So, honestly, in terms of the actual moulding on the helmet, which is, to my knowledge, other than some of the accessories, the only true custom part, because I believe both the legs and torso, that was a mistake, are completely official LEGO, along with the plain... Oh, I've swapped this at some point. The plain black head that is included is also official LEGO, but yeah, when it comes to the actual design, as I say, the actual torso here is supposed to be just the standard 501st design that they go for, which I don't think looks all too bad. It's definitely leaning on the realism side of things. I do quite like that the shoulder pads have the Clone Army Customs logo on them. Obviously, in some ways I would prefer if that was maybe a Republic symbol, or just plain pink, honestly, in a lot of ways, but I do quite like that just as a little insignia, just a little, you know, calling card as this being a CSC minifigure. And in general, like, the plastic quality, of course, being mostly real LEGO is excellent. I do have slight issues, like, you may be able to see it on this viewfinder, just on the back there's a little bit of an issue with the break-off point of the mould. You can kind of see it. I have not cleaned that up. It's going to be pretty easy to clean up, but it is a little bit of an issue, in my opinion, that you do see it like that. And then otherwise, as I say, if we just quickly take this guy apart, which, I mean, that's an issue in itself, the head just came off like that, let's have a look at the back printing. It's alright. It's not very accurate to any depiction of clones that I'm familiar with, though the printing is actually excellent. It even goes down onto the waist at the back. It's, in general, really well printed. I believe, I could be wrong, this is pad printing, I do believe, though, which, you know, honestly, pretty good quality all in all. Is official LEGO parts. You can see the LEGO logo there. It would be the same on the legs if I took those off. And yeah, overall, just, it is good quality. I just can't help but dislike it compared to the other options out there. So when it comes to the backpack, I do have the ARC backpack on this one. It's alright. It's nothing too special in my opinion. I do quite like it just for completing the look of a Clone Commando. but it's nothing too exciting. The alternate design that Clanker Customs have for the viewfinder is fine. I don't love it by any means, but, you know, it's alright. I do still prefer LEGO's official design for it, but honestly, this one is a little bit more accurate to in-universe, so I don't mind it too much. The weapon that we get is DC-15 modifiable blaster that I've just dropped. I don't know where I've dropped that. That might be a problem. Oh, I found it. Right, so when it comes to this, it's honestly one of the worst depictions of this blaster. I don't love this blaster in general in canon. It's very iconic, especially if you're a fan of the Clone Commandos video game, but it's just not a great depiction of it, and it's fine. It has what I believe is the canister for shooting out either nets or grapple hooks. It looks fine, but I have plenty of AliExpress knockoffs of this exact weapon that don't fall out my hands easily, but also, in my opinion, just look considerably better, and it's really a shame because, as I say, it is a very iconic weapon for Clone Commandos, and yeah, in my opinion, it looks fine in the hand of the actual figure, but for me, it's just nothing to call home about. And yeah, as I say, this is a figure that, in all fairness, is not produced at all by LEGO officially. So, you know, you at least have that is a unique helmet sculpt that is completely unique, like nothing like anything that LEGO actually produces, other than arguably some things from like Marvel with some of the Iron Man helmet designs, but even then they are considerably different in look. It's fine, it's good, it's a nice figure, I just don't care for it too much, but that leaves us with the other of the two clones I picked up, and this one is the standard 501st Clone Trooper, and yeah, this guy, I definitely prefer him. Out of the two, I'm going to say this is my preferred one, as the torso and everything is pretty much the same. The helmet, which I think is interesting, let's just quickly bring in a comparison. So, place him down there. Let's grab, say, the newest version of the plain, shiny P2 from the newest battle pack, so helmet holes included. I don't know what it is, but Clone Army Customs design, and I realise this is the older style helmet, so don't consider this to be a review of the newest design. This is just not accurate, in my opinion. It doesn't look right, and that's not to say that, you know, the LEGO style is perfect, it's not, but it's, in my opinion, closer to what I want from a Clone Trooper. The actual overall design is pretty similar in terms of the key aspects. Of course, these are supposed to be the same style of helmet, so you can't really expect too many major differences, but yeah, in general, I'm just not sold on this design, and the actual sculpt, while nice, just doesn't, to me, scream Clone Trooper. And, yeah, we should probably go over this as well. So, I did go with the option for a a macro binocular, and with LEGO recently producing these in actual LEGO form, yeah, this is honestly pretty terrible. Mine is excessively loose, like extremely loose, to the point where if I just do that, it just falls back. And I understand these figures are for people that like to collect, people like to display, and aren't necessarily for play, but this to me is still an issue when I'm, you know, just moving this figure around and the macro binoculars are just bouncing around like that, just from, you know, gravity, basically. You don't see that with the official LEGO macro binoculars, and it is just kind of disappointing. So, taking that off, I do quite like the printing design. I wish that LEGO did have that on their official one, but moving on from that, and just having a final look at the helmet as a whole, I think this is quite nice. I didn't get any of the visors, which I understand fit pretty well into the little grooves there. I have heard some horror stories about those being a bit loose as well, but honestly, I don't think that matters all too much. The helmet design's fine. I don't like it, and especially compared to LEGO's design, which has been pretty consistent. Let's bring in a older shiny for comparison. Same mold, just without the helmet holes. And yeah, there's issues with the actual helmet mold, and that's not even bringing into anything about the actual print design. Obviously, this is a much more realistic take on a clone. This leans a little bit more realistic, but obviously the current 2020 style... Oh, that's the wrong one. The current 2020 style We'll come back to that figure in a moment. Yeah, leans a little bit mix and match between Clone Wars and live action, and for me, this just looks worse. I don't know what it is. I think it's something to do with the LEGO proportions not really working with this realistic art style. I do really like the 2020 style clones. I think it's a really nice aesthetic, even if, you know, some people complain that it's not completely accurate. I like it. I think it is a really nice design, and it's just, it doesn't look as good in this hyper-realistic style. I will say, something that is really cool about this figure, I did go with the jetpack option, and this is obviously the style of jetpack that characters like Cody have printed onto them in LEGO form, something that I do wish that LEGO would actually produce properly. I do wish I had some of these in white just to give to characters like Cody, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. I can always make another order from CAC, which I will get into something that will make me buy into CSC a little bit more in the future. But yeah, the jetpack is really nice, and I do have the DC-15 standard blaster, the standard clone blaster, which I do think this may be the best version of this I have in LEGO scale. I do have a number of these in my collection from AliExpress and various other sources. And yeah, this one is very nicely done. This compared to the Commando blaster, it's night and day. This thing is just weird to me. This thing, it looks really nice in my opinion. And I say, same with the backpacks. Like, this one doesn't really scream Star Wars to me. It just kind of looks like a generic sci-fi backpack. This one is very much the clone classic jetpack, and I do really like that. But yeah, that is the two clone troopers, and as I said, it will bring in one of the various competitors to good old Clone Army Customs with a clone from Grandpa Clone Customs, GCC. And I think I've spoken a decent amount about GCC. I don't own too many of their full figures. Mostly I own, well, this one and the, I can't remember the call, but the alien species that Obi-Wan meets in episode 3. But, yeah, these obviously follow the 2020 style of armor. In fact, if I bring in that shiny, you can see they are almost identical. Once again, all real LEGO elements, including, in this case, the helmet. It is the 501st Legion helmet, that mold, which, you know, for me, I'd rather have the option for the helmet holes and stuff, just to have accessories, but that's neither here or there. Let's take the Commando out of here just for a moment, and move them a bit next to each other. So, as I say, for me, I definitely prefer, and I will take the blaster away just for the sake of being fair, because that's not included here, this looks better. And I don't think I'm alone in saying that. I think this is just a universally better design. This is obviously the 91st Scout Legion, is it called? The Recon Legion? I can't remember. It is one of my favourite clone trooper like legions or corps or whatever they are. In terms of design, I do like the simplicity of it. But yeah, it's very much one of those things where this to me just looks considerably better than this. And I don't know. For me, it's very obvious why. The helmet being almost identical is just, well, it is identical to the standard LEGO design, is obviously a big up. The fact that the design, the actual printing, matches with modern LEGO clones is just, all of that is so good. Even the fact that this doesn't have anything GCC related on it. You know, this has the Clone Army Customs logo on it, and while I don't mind it, this is very much a custom looking to be collected, to be army built, and to be just made into part of your collection. This is a clone custom trying to be a custom clone, and I know it's a minor difference, but to me, I want more stuff like this, that I can easily fit into my army, it doesn't look out of place, compared to something like this, which, let's be honest, just kind of stands out in a crowd. But with those complaints made, and most likely a few people a little bit upset with what I have to say about Clone Army Customs, because, as I've said, they are a very iconic name in custom clones, and just LEGO Star Wars in general. Let's, for a moment, just take away the clone. Let's get rid of his little rifle, his little visor, and, in fact, let's just get rid of clones altogether from this little scene right here. Because Clone Army Customs, as I kind of alluded to earlier, doesn't just produce clones. they also produce droids. And this is their newest design for a B2 battle droid, and honestly, this may be one of the best customs I have ever bought. So I actually got 2 of these along with my initial order that included those 2 clone troopers, just because I like to have things in 2s in general when they're a massable unit. I wasn't going to do it with the clone troopers, but I will, of course, do it with battle droids. And just bringing in a battle droid from one of the battle packs of recent years. Yeah, no, it's no competition. Climate Customs have just blown it out of the park. This is honestly one of my, as I say, favourite customs I've ever seen. And honestly, if LEGO were going to come back and redesign the battle droid after, well, 25 years, this is probably what they would do. So just going over a few of the features. First off, we'll just quickly talk about standard battle droids. So obviously they have 4 connection points. You have 1 arm on either side, one of which nowadays is a gun holding hand. You have legs that just move in one direction and a head that also moves in one direction. That's something that isn't going to really change. But we also have a back attachment with a stud. And yeah, pretty simple stuff, pretty nice, pretty iconic to LEGO Star Wars. Let's quickly go over the features included in the Clanker Customs battle droid. So, first off, yeah, the head is basically the same. The actual moulding, I almost want to say is better. It's hard to say. The detailing is definitely better with this Clanker Custom droid, but yeah, I really like the amount of detail here. It feels like a mini-scale Black Series battle droid, which it sounds ridiculous to say about something like this, but it really does feel like that. So yeah, you have your neck articulation. At the arm, you have up, and you have that on both arms, and you may see something very similar to what we have with LEGO, where it's, you know, a gun holding hand and a non-gun holding hand, except these have posable wrists. Both arms can be the gun holding hand. You don't have to worry about which one you're going with. It also means that you don't have to swap arms if you want them to ride a stap, and just in general, it's just an excellent little feature. So the way they're doing it, I will come back to the blaster, I think that's pretty cool as well. It's just a connection point. So it's very simple. You can actually just take off the hand if you want. There's not really much of a purpose to doing that, but I'm sure you could potentially find attachments that fit into that sort of socket. And yeah, it just allows for wrist rotation. This does really feel like a little action figure, and I really do like that. As I say, the standard Clanker Customs Droid Blaster is in use here, and it's good. I like it. It looks very accurate. I really do like, in general, just how this looks. And, you know, when we compare it to the LEGO Blaster, obviously the LEGO Blaster is considerably bigger. I do like that LEGO now differentiates the Droid Blasters by having them in metallic grey. But yeah, black is definitely the accurate colour scheme here. But yeah, it's still just a very nice thing that you're getting a little blaster like that. And yeah, that is something that I will say. And I did kind of touch on it with the clones. The fact you do get blasters and other accessories like that with Clanker Customs does put them ahead of companies like GCC. But yeah, beyond that, moving on to the legs, and you may have already noticed, 2 connection points. There's actually 5 basic connection points on these battle droids. Individual leg movement. Finally, a battle droid can do the splits. That wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. But yeah, that is something that a lot of people have custom done with a lot of droids. I was actually very tempted at one point to do the thing where you cut it down the dead middle, which creates 1 connection point technically, but allows you to move the legs separately. It's a bit of a hassle to get right, and you can go and break a lot of legs by doing it. But yeah, no, these are definitely a huge step up in terms of articulation, from the fact that they have wrists to the fact they have individual legs, while still having the general design and shape and silhouette in most of the ways that matter of a LEGO battle droid. And of course, on the back, we do have a backpack. I got 2 of the same because this is the one based on, I believe, the Complete Saga. I could be completely wrong there, but yeah, you can just take that off, and it does just have a hollow stud. The connection point is just a bar, which does actually mean you can put it onto a standard battle droid. That's what it looks like on a standard LEGO battle droid. pretty cool, pretty neat, but obviously I'm not going to do that to my official Lego. I don't like to mix and match that sort of stuff too much. But yeah, these guys are actually just excellent, and yeah, just placing it back down next to a standard battle droid. I love these things. I think they're truly excellent, and even, you know, just for the sake of comparison, let's quickly bring in the Clone Trooper, and if I can take the weapon off of him, let's bring in the GCC Clone Trooper as well, just for a full comparison of everything we're looking at right now. Yeah, there's no competition. The clones are so much better when they are accurate to how LEGO does them. But boy oh boy, having droids that look this good, oh, it's a dream come true for me, honestly. And as I say, I have 2 of these. I'm probably going to get more of these. I have a plan to get some with the other backpack design, and potentially some other weapons. There are a few weapons offered by CAC for them, and yeah, there's even different colour options. I didn't get any. Obviously, I just got 2 of the standard, like, sand colour, but you can actually get sand red, which is more of a Geonosis colour scheme. I believe there was actually a Kashyyyk colour scheme available as well as I'm sure some others that will be very nice to get. But yeah, it's so interesting to me that my first experience with CAC basically boils down to the clones, of which they are named after, aren't that good. But the droids, however, are potentially some of the best customs out there on the market right now, which, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. But on that note, I think that is everything I have to say about my thoughts on CAC, and the fact that right now, with all these other different companies, you know, GCC being the major one to me, but there's so many other companies making custom clones right now, even, you know, as I've said a few times, even down to, you know, AliExpress knockoff figures. There is so much on offer right now, and I don't think CAC is exactly meeting the mark when it comes to clones. But boy oh boy, the droids that they are offering are honestly excellent, and I can't complain about everything here. As I've said, like, things like the jetpack, the blaster, you know, the antenna piece, I think they're all excellent, accurate pieces. The helmet for the commando, these are all great things. And I think the actual quality of everything is really, really good from the clones. But I just don't think they stand up compared to GCC. Or as I keep saying, some of the AliExpress knockoffs, which this is a, you know, end of Clone Wars, you know, Echo, and this thing is excellent. This doesn't exactly feel high quality, but like the printing is excellent, and honestly, it's just great. This isn't a video about those sorts of customs. Clones from CAC, they're good, they're fine. If you like the aesthetic that they offer, there is so much variety and options. There are so many different things you can get from them, and for the most part, as I say, they're pretty affordable. They're pretty on par with other high-quality customs. But nothing is going to beat these droids. The droids that they offer are excellent, and I'll be picking up plenty more of them. I, you know, definitely plan on getting a small army prepared of just the CAC battle droids, and yeah, honestly, in a lot of ways, for the price especially, I could see myself just straight up just replacing these guys, just getting rid of them wholesale, and replacing them purely with CAC battle droids. But that is a project for another day, a video for another day, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. So if you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new here, and ring that bell so you never miss upload. Otherwise, comment below your thoughts on CAC, your thoughts on the battle droids especially. I'm really interested in hearing what other people think of them. And otherwise, it's going to be it from me. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!